So it's a little rolling device. It's got a little blue band that rotates on it on the back side. It's got 3 buttons on the front. The back is a battery compartment, and it's got a little scribe here in case you wanted to scribe something as you're measuring it. So has some decent instructions with it. Kind of tells you all about it. So as I said, it does linear measurement, area measurement, cubic feet or inches or board feet measurement, and cylindrical round area and diameter measurement. So we'll go through and look at a few of those, how that works. So if I push this button, this turns it on, and it's set up. There's a line. There we go. Sorry about that. So you see that little line there? That means it's linear measurement. We can go through the modes. Second mode. So this is up in the corner there. It's a box, and that means it's area measurement. So L1, length 1, and you hit it a second time, you get length 2. We go to the next one, and this makes it cubed. So now we're doing board feet measurement or cubic measurement. And then third that's board feet. There we go. And then last one, we're doing area of a cylinder and diameter of a cylinder. So let's take a look at it cycles back to the linear measurement. So to use it, there's a little depression back here for your finger and a little button on here to start the measurement. So if I just hold this still, push the button, rotate this, we start measuring. And I'm just moving this wheel here. So that typically would look like, and I'll hit it again, it'll zero it out. If I go wide, I'll bring this guy back up just as a reference. This is 12.5 inches, so I'll put it right at the end. The little arrow here at the very bottom kind of tells you where you want to start. Push the measurement, roll it along to the end. We got 12.76 inches, and we can press and hold this and get fractional inches, 12 3/4. It's the closest fractional measurement. And hold it again, and we'll get meters, 0.324 of a meter, so 32 centimeters. And back again, 2 inches. So you can do inches, fractional inches, and metric. So that's linear, very simple. We just click it to get to the box mode. So let's see how big this package is. So we can do from the edge here. So I'm lining up this arrow with the edge of the carton as measurement 1, and pretend this is a board. And then that's got 14.22. Trust me when you read that. And I'll take it on the width of this thing. And area 2 or length 2 is 3.54. And so this up here, 50.388 is the area of this guy in square inches. So that's how that works. If we push this again, we get a cube. So now we can do board feet. Well, let's go right to board feet. One more click, we'll get the board feet. So pretend this is a 3-dimensional board. I don't have one right handy, believe it or not. Well, I do actually. Let me grab that one. Got a little block of really nice curly, I don't know if it's Koa. No, it's walnut, Claro walnut. You want to know how much that's going to be to sell. Let's measure the board feet. There's one measurement. So that's L1, L2, and L3. So this little guy is 0.3709 board feet. So you can now kind of measure that or sell that for whatever it is. Measure your stuff. So that's kind of handy. If you're in that mode where you need to measure board feet, it would have been handy when I was loading lumber. Let's see. Next mode is cylindrical. So push one more. We got the little dots up there for area and diameter. So I got this big block of wood that I've kind of half rounded around, trying to figure out the diameter of this guy. I don't have calipers big enough for that. I'm looking over and measuring across a rounded edge is kind of difficult. So I have put a witness line right there. There's a pencil line right there. So I'm just going to roll it off to, I'm going to widen it a little bit more, off to one side. I'll put my little line on that guy and roll this guy till I get back to that line. And there we go. We have its diameter, and I'm losing focus again. So there we go. So our diameter is 6.5 inches, and our area is 33.16 square inches. I don't know why I'd need that, but maybe a guy doing veneer work on something like this would certainly need that, and so that'd be handy. So is 6.5 inches correct? So let's take a quick look and just sort of get a best guess from a ruler and see that indeed 6.5 inches is about bang on. So there you go. Just a neat little device. I can see this also being used for marquetry or stringing. If you're doing any sort of fancy inlay of very thin pieces of wood, you're trying to figure out how much of that material you need to cut. This is great for doing paths. So get rid of this block of wood. And or if you're even doing concrete work where you got a winding path and stuff like that, or something like that, because this thing, when we go back to linear mode and you've got a windy path, and I'm off the screen. So pretend we've got a windy path winding around our marquetry design. You now know that you need 30 inches or 30.4 inches of material to make that work. So that's kind of that. So there is another button over here that turns power off and on and off, but you can also do like inside a shelf unit. They've got these marks here, and I'll just one shot that again. 1 second. These marks here will allow you to, if this was a shelf unit, I'd bump up against the shelf without getting this into the corner. So so that you turn on your corners. Oops, I just turned it off. So if we look closely, if I hold this button down, we get a little corner with a circle in it. And that means I'm going to measure into one corner and off one edge. So I had a wall here. It adds 1.18 inches because I'm going to measure this little curved distance here. So if I'm against the wall, then this arrow tells me I'm against that shelf. Then I can start there and roll off the edge and say it's 13.46 inches from my hand over to the edge of the shelf. Anyway, so that's what that button's for. And then you hold it again, and another little L bracket goes in that little symbol up there. That means you're rolling from shelf to shelf, or side of the bookshelf to this other side of the bookshelf. The instructions explain all that very well. So that is the Rollbot.